Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be my match review of the Tottenham vs Chelsea game. And honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a crazier game than the one that we had on Monday night. Like, so much happened in such a short space of time. Like in the first half, all that drama that went down. We're going to talk about it. We're going to reflect. We're going to, I honestly, I don't know what, but we're going to go through it and sort of in chronological order. And I'm having to look at things because like so much happened that I don't want to forget anything and I don't want to miss anything because it was that crazy. So if you do enjoy the video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And my play ratings will be out after this, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, let's get straight into this match review, so let's go. Monday night, Tottenham versus Chelsea ends up being a 4-1 defeat to Spurs. And if you just looked at the scoreline, nothing else, you just looked at the scoreline, you think, yeah, Chelsea, absolutely dominated Spurs, like battered them, like they were well beaten. Someone who actually watched the game will realise that is not the case. And that's not how the game went, actually. Because Spurs, for like the first 15-20 minutes, were the best side. Got an early goal, we were flying, we scored another one, but Son was just offside. I still don't trust VR with offsides, but it is what it is. And yeah, you'd think if that goal goes in, I'm pretty sure Spurs would have gone on to score more goals, and I feel like we would have won the game. That goal gets disallowed for offside. And I always find when Spurs are 1-0 up, they score another goal, but it's offside. That's when things always seem to go wrong. And I don't know why that is. It just seems like every time that we could get like a second goal, like really quickly, it gets disallowed for some reason. And I don't know whether it's just me, but I get a bit nervous, and I felt like, even though like I thought, yeah, you know what, scored that first goal, we could get another one, even though that was just disallowed, like just keep going. But there's just something in my head that was like, that could be a problem. Like that goal not counting could be a problem. And I was sort of right. I didn't really want to say out loud because I didn't want to put it out in the universe. But there's just something in my head being like, yeah, this could be a problem. And I don't even know why that is. I think it's just, I can't even give a reason for it, to be honest. But yeah, so it was probably the best football we've played this season, even though it only lasted like 20 minutes or so. But my God, that first goal, like Chelsea didn't know what to do. There was so much space in the middle. They couldn't handle us. And they were just like confused on how to like stop us. And like the pressing was off and like everything. And Kulusevski, gets first goal. Obviously it takes a bit of deflection off Colwell, I think it was. But that was that move. And the move for like the disallowed second goal, my God. Brennan Johnson was happy. Like he was getting so much joy down that left-hand side. It was insane. He was having a really good game. And I don't know what happened. I still can't explain to you. Like, I still can't think of what happened for us Spurs to lose so much control in that game. Because we were in control. Like, we were dominating them. And, like, the way we were playing, you'd think it was only a matter of time before we scored more goals. And we would come out with the 3 points. And that obviously did not happen. That did not happen. So regarding, and then sort of, I feel like around, maybe it was the 20th sort of minute mark, Chelsea sort of, they woke up a bit. They sort of, they gave more. And I feel like Udogie sort of fired that up in them. Now, regarding this sort of, was it a tackle challenge? I don't know what to call it, but he slides in with both feet to get the ball. Sterling jumps out the way, sort of jumps up. So basically, Udogie avoids contact with him. Udogie gets a yellow card for it. VAR check it to see if it's like serious foul play, so he could be sending off. I feel like if he actually made contact with him like that, he probably would have got sent off. But the fact that he didn't make contact just means it's just a yellow card. In a sense, Udogie got lucky that Sterling decided to jump out the way, but I feel like he got the ball. So I'm just like, yeah, he got the ball, we move on. Then that's when Chelsea sort of started playing a bit more. And I feel like I would say Spurs lost their heads, because realistically it was just Romero and Udogie who heads got messed. And I don't know why. I don't know why it happened. I don't know why Udogie came sliding in like that with that tackle. I don't know why that is. I don't know. Honestly, I can't get into the heads and think about why they would do that. And also Udogie is still like only 20 years old, so like this is like his first like sort of mistake in a game. And it's only his 11th Premier League game, so it's like we've got to give him time, and like he's got to learn from this. He's only like I said, he's 20 years old. So things like that he will definitely learn from. And I feel like with Ange, I feel like his man management is like really good. So I feel like that sort of situation, he'll talk to him about it, but it's not going to be like a, you know, like a telling off kind of thing. Like I don't think it's going to be like that. So that happens. Okay. And then Chelsea started playing a bit more, getting a few more chances. Vicario was my man of the match. Well, it was between him and Porro, and then I don't know, because we went down to 9 men. Like everyone who stayed on that pitch, those nine players, the players who came on. But Vicario was my man of the match because of the way he played out of his skin that night. Like honestly, I can't. We've got to talk about it, but we've got to go bit by bit, and then we'll get there. Now, this was when Chelsea sort of equalised from Caicedo, that like long shot from outside the box. But Nicholas Jackson was like in offside position, and I feel like because at the time I was like, I can't see an offside. I can't see it. Like it's an offside. Like I'll take offside. I'll take it if it's offside. But I didn't see an offside. I'm just thinking maybe this won't get overturned. But he was sort of offside and sort of in line with the goalkeeper. So I feel like that's why it was disallowed. But in the midst of all that, beforehand, before that goal, I think Sterling died just like before the before the challenge Romero made, whatever. Whether it's a challenge, I don't know. A tackle, something like that. And Enzo Fernandez is in the box. Romero's in the box. And Romero being Romero, you know he's going to tackle everything. You know he's going to go in hard and like, you know, he has that edge to him. So he goes like flying in to win the ball. He wins the ball. Okay, he wins the ball. He clearly gets the ball. And then the follow through, he starts sort of like this, and it's sort of just above, I feel it's just above Enzo's ankle, and it just goes like that. You know, sliding in, getting the ball, and then he's the follow through hits Enzo. Michael Oliver, I don't know, he probably didn't see it as like a penalty or like a red card or whatever. So after VAR check Caicedo's goal and it gets disallowed for offside, they then go all the way back to Romero and Enzo situation. I don't know what to call it. I don't think it was a challenge. I don't think it was a tackle. He was going for the ball. So if anyone, let me know in the comments, like, what should he have done to avoid that sort of situation? Should he have slid in, not as like as strongly as he did? Should he have, I don't know, stayed on his feet, I guess? But then you're also giving Enzo like a free shot at goal, so it's like, what do you do in that situation? I feel like it could have been, I don't know, honestly. I feel like it could have been avoidable. It could, I feel like those are given as red cards, so it's like, I don't have any complaints because they get given as red cards. So it's like, whether I think that it should be a red card or not, I feel like because he got the ball, I'm sort of 50-50 with that. Then obviously the 40 went in with, they're always going to be given as a red card, so it's like, whatever. But I just think when you get the ball and you follow through, it's slightly different because he's going for the ball. Like, if you didn't win the ball, fair enough, yeah, red card. But I feel like winning the ball should give you some sort of leniency. But what do I know? I'm not a ref. I don't know, honestly. The rules are the rules, and sometimes they go for you, sometimes they don't. And this, like, I'm not going to sit here and complain about VAR. Like, that's not what this video is. There's been too much of that. There's been too much of VAR, people crying, people moaning Arteta. Like, club statements. Like, clubs are actually making statements. So, or should I say club? Or maybe, did Liverpool make a statement as well? Well, I feel like Liverpool were in more of a right to make a club statement, to be honest, because of what happened to them against us. And obviously, rival fans see this as karma for Spurs, which I don't understand, because Spurs didn't make Liverpool, well, Spurs are not to blame for the fact that the VAR got that decision wrong. Like, Spurs literally had nothing to do with it. Like, you can't blame Spurs for the fact that they got that decision wrong and sort of miscommunication, and they made it like a huge mess. Like, you can't blame Spurs for that. So I don't really see how it could be karma, when karma's more like when you've done something yourself and the world's getting back at you. So I don't really see how you can say it's karma. And it's not VA's fault that we were down to 9 men. That was Romero and Udogie for what they did. And, you know, it just is what it is. So, okay. And then Oliver gets sent to the screen, sees the sort of, they put it in slow-mo. I feel like in slow-mo things always look worse than they actually are. And I don't know whether that's just so I can see everything that happens, but if you put it in slow-mo, it's going to look worse. So in real time, I saw it, but I wasn't thinking anything of it. And then you're like, maybe, I don't know. And then Romero gets sent off, and I'm gonna say Man City. Why do I keep saying Man City? I don't know. I keep thinking Man City. I'm like, we're not playing Man City. We'll just not get anyways. We'll get there. Chelsea get a penalty, which I'm just thinking, great. We're down to 10 men, and Chelsea get an instant chance to get an equaliser. I'm just like, great. That's fantastic. Oh my god. Cole Palmer steps up. Okay, he pissed me off for that again, but we're probably not going to talk about that. And then, yeah, he shoots the ball. Vicario gets a bit of a hand to it, hits the post and it goes in. And the way Vicario was so close to saving that, oh, fine margins, guys, fine margins. But it was just like so, I mean, if Vicario saved that, oh my god. That I feel like if Vicario saved that penalty, that would have breathed a new life into Tottenham straight away. Like, I feel like that would have given us the momentum to, you know, keep going. Even though we did have 10 men, let's be real. I feel like that would sort of shifted momentum a bit. But they scored a penalty. Again, is double jeopardy a thing? Like, I feel like you can't send someone off and give a penalty away. I don't know. The rules change so constantly. I'm like, I swear that was a rule now. If I'm wrong, let me know. Like, it's like, I'm just wondering, because I thought it was double jeopardy and that you can't give away a penalty and send someone off at the same time. But unless it's, I don't know whether it's like because something's a sending off and it should be a penalty. I don't know, to be honest. Just let me know. So then it's 1-1. And you're thinking, okay, Spurs down to 10 men. But we can still, you know, we can still get a result out of this. We can still win this game. You know, we're in control. We've sort of lost control. Romero sort of lost his head. And like, actually, before that, Romero, there was another incident regarding Romero. Let's just quickly get into that before we move on. Where he's, I wouldn't say kicks out. I'd say he more taps. Was it Caldwell again? His leg, he just sort of go like this, like sort of like that. It was no force behind it. It was just sort of like a tap on the leg. He goes down like he's been shot, injured, you know, doing all that like footballers do. And you'll think, okay, it's petulant. Romero shouldn't have done it. But that's not a red card. In my opinion, that's not a red card. There's no force behind it. He just sort of, you know, like, it's not violent. It's just petulant. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, I wouldn't class that as a red card. And again, I'm not agreeing with what Romero did. I'm just saying, regarding that, I don't think that'll be a red card. Maybe a yellow card. The ref didn't see it, so VAR can't give out yellow cards. They can just, it's either a red card or I don't think it's a red card. And it was not a red card. So he sort of gets away with it. As I sort of gets away with not getting booked. Okay? And then, okay, so that happened. And then you can say he sort of avoids a like a red card, but like I said before, I don't think it was a red card, so he doesn't really avoid it. And you're thinking after that, okay, Romero, keep your head, we need to stay in this. That didn't happen, he gets sent off. And then we're playing like a high line still, we're still going for it. And then one of the worst things that could ever happen happens. Van der Ven pulls his hamstring. I feel like that's the terminology, I don't know. But he's sort of like running and then he like pulls up and we're all thinking, this is not happening. Like, this literally cannot happen. We cannot lose Van der Ven and Romero in the same game and Van der Ven be out for like, who knows? I feel like it could be a serious injury. Like, at this point, we still don't know how bad it is. And I'm fearing the worst, obviously, because the way he pulled up, and it was just like, it was just one of those moments where he was like, no, Romero gets sent off. Then we lose our other centre-back who, like, has been sensational for us, like, for the start of the season. The way he's been playing, everything. And, like, his pace is something that we've lacked in that back line for, like, for ages. And we finally get that. And we lose both our best centre-backs within just over 10 minutes. And it's just like, what is going on? He's gone off injured. Dyer comes on. And not only that, not only does Van der Ven get injured, right, and he could be out for a while, we still, like I said, we still don't know. Maddison goes down as well. And then you're thinking, what is going on? Like, I swear Spurs are cursed when it comes to, like, situations like this. And remember, this is all happening in the first half. Like, we haven't even got to, like, other decisions, like offsides. Like, there was like nearly 20 minutes of VAR checks. Like, what? I don't know if that's the first half. Maybe it was the first half, but I don't know. And all this is happening, and it's like, what the heck is going on? From Spurs being in control for that first 20 minutes, we then get to, like, nearing the end of the first half, but it's added 12 minutes. But Van der Ven goes off injured. Maddison eventually goes down with an injury. I don't think Maddison's as serious as Van der Ven's. So Maddison still might make rules. We still don't know yet. It was like a knock on the ankle, which Aaron said at the end of the game. Two of our best players go off injured. We just lost Romero to a red card. So we're down to 10 men without Van der Ven, who has pace and, like, he has the pace. So then you're thinking, okay, Dyer comes on. Who was it? Hold on. Was it Emerson who came on? I figured it out. Eric Dyer came on when Romero got sent off. And then when Maddison and Van der Ven got injured, that's when Højbjerg and Emerson came on. God, I was losing my marbles just trying to remember, like, what happened. Because it has been, like, it's been 2 days and, like, so much happened. But, and then when it happened, yeah, I feel like it was still, like not much happened after that. I can't remember, like, was there was 5 disallowed goals overall. 2 were Tottenham's, I think, and maybe were 3 Chelsea. Might have been. Yeah, because we had that Son one in the first half, Dyer in the second half, and then, yeah, there's like 5 disallowed goals, 2 in the first. 2 were Tottenham's and maybe 3 were Chelsea's. That's what I remember. And then not much really happens for the remainder of that first half, really, after those injuries. Like, there's 12 added minutes, and then we're going a bit longer. Chelsea are still sort of like trying to attack us and everything. We're still keeping that high line, you know, and you're thinking, okay, we can get in at 1-1. Yes, we've got 10 men against 11. But we've seen enough from this team to know that we can still create chances and we can still get something out of this game, okay? So we come to the second half, it's 1-1, like I said, and this is where it goes from bad to worse. So Udogie, who's already on a yellow card, and we're still playing at high line. Chelsea had the ball, I think Sterling again. Why is it always Sterling? I do not know. That first tackle that he avoids. And this one. And again, Udogie goes sliding in. You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to win the ball. But the ball's gone, so he takes out Sterling. And what does that mean? He gets booked. Again. So that means not only does he get a second yellow card? Turns into a red. He gets sent off. Udogie gets sent off. And Spurs are down to 9 men against Chelsea at home. It's 1-1. This is like 55 minutes in, so we've still got quite a little bit of way to go. And I don't know, like I said before, Udogie, he's like 20 years old. Like, he's going to learn from this. And I'm not going to go like too hard in on him for that, because again, it's like his first mistake in a Spurs shirt. Like, mate, like, yes, it's a massive mistake, and the sendings off contributed massively to the reason why we didn't come out with anything. But also there were sort of injuries as well, so that those sort of things can mislead into it. And I feel like he just, maybe the emotions of the game got to him and he just lost his head. But this is something that he's going to learn from, and I'm not going to hold it against him. Obviously, we do our next game, Wolves. We don't have Romero because he's banned for 3 games. We don't have Van de Ven because he's injured. We don't have Udogie for 1 match again because of the Wolves, because of the red card, so he misses 1 game. Maddison, we don't know yet. He might miss the game. It's not looking good. And also the news of Richarlison as well, having surgery. So he's going to be out for a while. Injuries are stacking up. The suspensions don't help. But I'm going to keep faith. And we'll see how we go. So when that happens, honestly, obviously at the beginning of the first half, Spurs are still keeping that high line. That's how he plays. He plays with a high line, and regardless of how many players we have on the pitch, he's going to keep sticking to that. He's going to keep sticking to that high line. And so then we have that high line with 9 men as well. And honestly, I've never seen anything like that. Because normally when you're like down to 10 men, like let alone 9 men, you would sit back, defend, park the bus kind of, and just rely on a counter-attack. Not this Tottenham side, honestly. And what he's done to this team, I don't know. It's sensational. But that, like, the way, like, we're just not afraid. Like, we're gonna play that high line regardless. And I love that, honestly. At first I was a bit like, I don't know. This doesn't really happen that often. But the way we just sort of kept going for it, and like you could see the fans in the stadium were really like loved that from them. And like I loved it watching it at home. Like, imagine being in that stadium, because the way the fans backed the team, that the players that left on the pitch, was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Because even when we started conceding goals again, but let's be honest, it took Chelsea until like the 75th minute. Was it the 75th minute? Yeah, till the 75th minute to get a second goal. So I feel like the plan that Ange had was working. Like, we easily could have got, like, well, not easily, but we could have come out with a point. We could have easily won the game. Like, Chelsea, like, I haven't really spoken that much about Chelsea, but Chelsea started the game poorly. Yeah, they gained a bit of control, and sort of we lost our heads of like Spurs, like Udogie and Romero sort of lost their heads, and obviously just sending off. But Chelsea, they weren't that great. Yes, Nicholas Jackson got a hat-trick, but like no one literally cares about that. Like, nobody's, like, I haven't seen anybody really talking about the fact that he scored a hat-trick. Like, it's probably one of the worst hat-trick you'll ever see in your life. And Chelsea weren't great. Spurs were better than them with 9 men. Like, when would you say that a team is better with 9 men than they were with 11? And I think the fact that Spurs were better with 9 men, yes, we end up losing the game, but, you know, that's bound to happen if we're, you know, trying to win the game and everything. But, and rival fans want to bring up the fact that we had to score, it was an own goal in stoppage time that made us get that win against Liverpool. Okay, Liverpool, you know, they lost Curtis Jones, wasn't it, and Jota. They didn't have injuries on top of that. They also were defending most of the time, so it would have been harder to get shots off when you would have all those players in the box. Do you know what I mean? Spurs weren't doing that. Spurs were on the halfway line. Like, it was like a 0-7-1 that Spurs were playing in that for the most of that second half. And it still took Chelsea to the 75th minute to figure out what to do to score. So I don't think you could compare the two. And yeah, you could say, oh, you're sending us off, like no one's fault apart from them. Well, of course, but it's completely, you gotta have context of the situation, okay? Honestly, the performance that the players out there put out, we haven't seen that sort of fight, team spirit, the heart, pride wearing that badge, fighting for that badge in so long. And the fact that Ange has brought that back, and the fact, because usually when you're at home, you're losing 4-1 to one of your like rivals, fans can sort of like normally wouldn't like respond to that, and they would probably respond to it in like a toxic way, and probably would have left, like, I don't even know, 10 minutes before the end or whatever, whenever that third goal went in, they probably would have left. No, but like all the fans stayed. It kept, even when, like, I think it was when Chelsea scored that third goal, the Spurs fans were just still singing. They still carried on singing, and I absolutely loved that. And it was just lovely to see. And like, I feel like because the fact that Tottenham just still went for it, they were still putting that effort. I came out of that game not proud of the result, because who's going to be proud of 4-1 loss, but for the spirit the remaining players showed. And Vicario, again, his performance, I can't even put into words how amazing it was, because the way he was like the sweeper keeper, like his saves, like he made sure that, like, even the scoreline was like 4-1, but he did not deserve to concede 4 goals. And like I said, he was my man of the match, even though he did concede 4 goals, but 3 of those were tapping, so it doesn't really matter. Like, they weren't impressive, do you know what I mean? Like, it was bound to happen, like I said, because we're down to 9 men, like, we've got to be stretched come towards the end of the game. But the performance, like, Dyer, who hasn't played a lot recently, like, he hasn't played, I don't think he's played this season. But that performance he put in, even though he hasn't really been playing much, and he could potentially be on his way out, amazing. Højbjerg as well, that goals, like, when he stopped that ball going in from his knee, like, oh, like, I can't even, like, Porro as well, just his, like, persona, everything, that, like, and just, like, everyone put everything into that performance, and Ange has done that to this side, like, remember when last season, when we lost 6-1 to Newcastle? Like, and you see how the players performed this time round, even though technically we still did lose, but it was, I still can't get over it. And I was proud, because they gave it everything. They tried till the end. And I love the fact that mentality that Ange has instilled in them to keep going. And you don't know that's not something you see often. You're down to 9 men, you play that high line. And I don't agree with people like, oh, it's so naive, it's a bit arrogant. Like, that's the way Ange plays, regardless of how many players are on the pitch. And to say it's naive, I feel like that's really disrespectful, because Ange is an experienced manager. Like, I'm pretty sure he knows the risks and rewards of playing that high line when you're down 2 men. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm pretty sure he'll know what the risks are with playing that sort of high line. Like, and you know what? It almost worked. It almost worked. If Dyer was he was just offside, but that finish from Dyer, that could have, like I said on my live watch on, that could have been a hero moment for Dyer. And the excitement I had when that ball went in, and then I was like, oh, it's offside. Oh no, we are checking it, and it took a while. It took a while for them to check it. I was just thinking, oh my god, imagine if it's offside. Imagine if it's offside. But I'm like, no, it's gonna be offside. It's gonna be offside. Ended up being offside. But what finished that was, you know, Dyer, who's had to face a lot of criticism. Like, I've been one of those, like other people who've been criticising, and rightly so. Sometimes I do think it gets a bit too much, but the way he sort of stepped in when he hasn't really played much football, and the performance he put in, we had to give him credit. We had to give Højbjerg credit as well, because he also could be pitching his way out. I kind of don't want to see Højbjerg go. I feel like his leadership and his experience We need that in his side, and I don't know who we could potentially replace him with that would have that sort of leadership and experience. So I don't know whether, if we can get like a really good replacement and someone who can like offer us maybe a bit more than Højbjerg can, then potentially I would be okay with selling him. But I just don't want to see him go, because maybe not like every game, but he's good. He's a good squad player, and the effort he puts in every time he's on the pitch, even though he's not starting games, you just have to give him credit for it. Emerson as well, the way he sort of stepped up as well, like he's, you know, I love Emerson, honestly. Like, you wouldn't think that under Nuno, when he was getting like booed constantly and like things happening, and the way he sort of improved and the way he sort of worked hard and like, and just, it's become a fan favourite. Also like Porro as well. I feel like his performances this season, and just his persona, like I said, and like just the way he is on the pitch and just everything. He's also become a bit of a fan favourite as well. And I can't put enough praise of Vicario's name. Like he's hands down the best goalkeeper in the league. Well, obviously this season, but the way he's performed, I just love him. And the fact that we were like unsure because of the David Raya situation in the summer, but we got the best choice, honestly. And again, he's becoming like so I feel like every one of those like players are like fan favourites. Maybe talk about Romero and Udogie, maybe not so much at the moment because of the whole red card situation. And just going back to Romero just quickly regarding this red card. Obviously this season before Chelsea game, he had only had like one yellow card, and he wasn't so rash, and he was, you know, he stepped up to that vice captaincy role, and it felt like he sort of turned a corner with that sort of rashness and everything, and he wasn't so much doing it. Now this is sort of back to sort of what Romero's like, and he has received, I think it's like 4 red cards now since he's been at Spurs. And maybe this is just like a blip, and eventually he'll go back to how he has been at the start of the season before that. And maybe Ange will talk to him about it, like, I don't know. But then I've seen people wanting us to sell Romero. And I'm like, what? You want us to sell Romero because he's got a red card? Like, yes, we, but before the start of the season, he's been performing really well. He sort of makes that one mistake, and yes, it was in a massive game, and like this could have really like helped us, and we could have gone back to top of the league. We could have gone 10 points clear of Chelsea. We could have gone 5 points clear of Arsenal, Liverpool, and like we could have been like. But realistically, winning the league this season for Spurs, like that was just sort of like a pipe dream, kind of. Like, obviously you want to believe, and like I bet when Leicester, you know, were going for, like, they wanted to believe that they could win a title, and obviously it's different circumstances now because that was like 7 years ago now that we won it. But like I feel like top 4 should just still be the target. Take one game at a time, and obviously with the injuries we have now, it's going to be difficult going forward. We've got big games coming up. The fact that we're not going to have 2 of our best centre-backs against Wolves, Villa, Man City. Like, Man City is a massive one. I mean, I'm not going to go into those games thinking that we have no chance, because you never know what happens in football. Like, you look at Luton and Liverpool, you would have thought Liverpool would have won that game easily. But they come away with a point. So, you know, not anything can happen in football. So I'm not going to get too, you know, down and like too negative about the situation, because it's like our first loss in the Premier League, and it's November. Our first loss, and it's November. Like, it's not that big. Obviously, losing to your rivals is not great. You don't want to do that. Like, you would want to win. But I think in context of the whole season, 1 loss is not anything to get really worked up about and just like get really all negative and go back to how we were like last season. Because last season, yeah, fairs, like we were terrible, and like finishing 8th, and the amount of goals we conceded and like the performances, yeah, you could be negative then, but like what we've seen from this team, and I felt like there's a way to lose, and Spurs definitely showed like how you go down fighting regardless. Like you go down fighting, because I don't want to see Spurs sit back and like try and nick a point or whatever. Like, because at the end of the day, us going for it gives us more chance of actually scoring ourselves, and we saw that. And because Liverpool did what they did, sit back, yeah, they almost got a point out of it, but they still ended up losing. And like, yeah, we still lost, but we had more chances to get something out of the game than Liverpool did, because Liverpool barely really did anything. And I think that's the point, because with 10 men, yeah, maybe you could counter it a bit better, but with 9 men, it would be impossible. And I feel like the performance out there, regardless of the result, I was proud of it. And I wasn't coming out of that game like down because we lost, and it's like, I was proud of the players that were out there and gave their everything. And it's all like Spurs lost their heads. No, Spurs didn't lose their heads. Udogie and Romero lost their heads, and that's what ended up costing us the game, alongside the injuries as well. But we put up a good fight. It almost worked out, and it could have worked out. Bentancur had a chance. Son had a chance at the end, and they ended up going to score a third. So overall, I'm not too like down about like the performance. We can like be proud of that, and I would rather see us lose 4-1 than 2-1 sitting back and defending. Like, that's just me. I feel like what we've had to witness with Conte, even though Conte did start well, but Mourinho as well, like, this is what you want to see from your team, giving it everything regardless. And just done this to Spurs, and just the way he sort of turned his club around and like everything. The fans, you know, there's a connection with the fans, the players, the manager. Everyone's together. Everyone's, what's the saying, singing off the same hymn sheet. And everyone, like, you can see the way that the players performed with 9 men, that they believe in everything that Aaron's just doing. And that's just it. And yes, we lose 4-1. Yes, there's injuries. But I'm more confident that with this Spurs side, the way we're performing everything, even in adversity, and like things are like not against us, but we're sort of been unlucky in such ways. But I think now we're going to see what this Tottenham team is really made of, because we're sort of, with the injuries and like suspensions as well. Obviously, there's only the Wolves game, and then it's another international break, which I think is kind of good, because then it just gives Ange a bit more time just to. And we'll see who comes in. I feel like Dyer definitely going to play against Wolves. Who starts alongside him? It's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, I'm just proud of the performance. Like, the credit those players deserve for stepping up. Even like the fringe players, like they gave everything. Like even like Skip, Bentancur, who hasn't really much game time, and just sort of everyone that just came on. And yeah, obviously I would like, it's not the result we wanted, and the fact that we were so in control in the first 20 minutes, it's like, how do we let it slip away? But I'm proud. And there we go, guys. That is my match review for the Tottenham vs Chelsea game. Be sure to let me know your thoughts down below. And yeah, like I said before, my next video will be the player ratings. And I will see you guys then. Come on, you Spurs. Bye, guys.